I'm going to turn it over to you now fully. I'm going to step back. I'm going to pull up this presentation, and I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to, I'll control it for you.
Okay.
If you like, let me make sure that I can get that. Let me make sure that I have it. Oh yeah, here we go. I'll control it for you. Just tell me when the.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this in kind of a conversational format. So I know you have a lot of experience in this area as well. You've counseled a lot of different startups. So maybe we can kind of do this in a very conversational manner. So, yeah, we talked about the top 10 ways to attract investors to your startup. And the way I look at this conversation, Scott, it's really, a lot of these things, I don't think it's anything that someone hasn't heard before, but it's just kind of putting it into a different context, maybe, or maybe a reminder, right? But also just looking at it in a very common sense way. So if you're the person, so let's step outside of this and say, we're the investor and we're looking for businesses to put capital into, okay? These are 10 things that you might be thinking about as the investor before you put your money into a startup. And the first thing that we had on here, if you can go to the first slide, is, and this is probably something that a lot of people do know, but let's talk about this. If you are an investor, wouldn't you want to put your money into a systems-based business versus something where there is no system? And when we're thinking about systems, we're talking about something that has a successful model already. So you know how people use, a lot of times they'll use franchises like McDonald's, Subway. How do you view that? How would you view that in terms of as an investor? If somebody came to you and said, Scott, I'm about to pick up a Subway and I need some capital, would you consider it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I anything that, and then you have it already on here, anything that can be duplicated or easily duplicated, right? But if you don't, and I get that, man, that's for all of us startup entrepreneurs, man. Listen, I have been working on this myself, and I have been pushing this number one agenda. That's why when I saw your presentation, I was like, this is spot on. Look, you gotta have a system that operates without you. And you got to create that. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with one of my business partners this morning, because we have a client and building their website that was concerned about if something happens to one of us, will he still get service on managing his website? And we were going over the systems that's in place should either one of us physically not be available. So is that system strong? Does it have legs that it can stand on? And can it be duplicated, right? Is that what you're?
That is exactly right. And, sometimes you can pull systems from unrelated businesses. You could have a Subway model, but you might be a lawyer, for example. You might want to, sometimes the systems are there for examination to see what can I pull out of this well-running system. Let's think about Amazon. So Amazon is definitely a very systems-driven business. You and I are service providers. We can look at Amazon and kind of see, okay, what systems is Amazon using that I can incorporate into my business to attract an investor? And so there's so many different uses to systems when you're putting together a business.
This is good. We're talking about the 10 ways to attract investors to your startup, and the number one that we have here that Eric has come up with is systems. So first things you want to think about is systems.